Live Sunday Night Vinyl Confessions with special guest Chris Propfe. He's musically obsessed,
What's up?
And this we just figured out, Trevor and I, that this is the first official ranking we've ever done on Sunday Night Vinyl Confessions.
Yes.
Wanted to do this one, and we figured out that Chris was probably the biggest Black Sabbath fan besides ourselves within the PC, certainly within our circle.
Mm-hmm.
And so we figured he was a perfect one to ask. Thankfully, he was available. And we're going to do all 20 studio albums. And like I said in my promo, yeah, there's 19 proper studio albums, but we are counting The Devil You Know because of our general dislike for Sharon Osbourne. So,
yes.
So yes. Let's see.
Well, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, no worries.
No problem.
Glad you're here.
All right, and what we're going to do then with comments, we decided we're going to list our first 5, and after that, then we'll play catch up with comments. Then after that, we're going to do 4, 4, 4, and 3, and after every one, it'll be basically like a little bit of a break. We'll play catch up with everybody's comments. How you doing, Scott?
Scott.
So, if you just want to do a quick little, just give your age, and then when you got your first Sabbath album, which album it was.
Okay.
So go ahead, Chris. What are you?
Well, I am a young 50 years old.
Okay.
Proud 1974 baby. And let's see. It's funny because I just did a Bon Jovi video today, and I said that Slippery When Wet was kind of my gateway into hard rock, and it was. And then from there, I just went full. I think my next 2 albums were Black Sabbath Sabotage and Metallica's Ride the Lightning. So okay. I went from like Huey Lewis and the News and Cyndi Lauper to Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet to Sabbath and Metallica, and it totally blew my mind. So I was probably, 14 years old, 14, 15 when I first started listening to Sabbath.
All right, Trevor, I've heard your story before, but go ahead for those who don't know it.
I will make it as chestnut as possible. My discovery to Sabbath was in mid-August of 1981 when my uncle, who was only 9 years older than me, so he's more like a big brother, took me to see this movie called Heavy Metal. And in one of the scenes, I heard, up until that point, the heaviest song I ever heard in my entire life, which was Mob Rules. Shortly after that, I got the soundtrack, and then shortly after that, I got the album Mob Rules. So that was my first Sabbath album, and I didn't even know. I knew of Ozzy, I just didn't know he was in Sabbath. Not until about another year or 2 after that. So.
All right, and I am being the elder statesman. It's funny, Chris, you say you're born in 74.
I'm like, I'm 50, or 55, by the way. Sorry.
I'm like, my God, I saw Black Sabbath live 2 years before you were born.
So, I'm jealous of that, Steve.
Yeah, but do you want to be 69 years old now?
I think it would be fun to say you're 69.
Yeah, well, you'll get your chance. But yeah, so I'm 14 years old, 1970. The debut album comes out. I'm at a party. Somebody puts it on, and you hear this rain and thunder, and you're like, oh, man. And that was it. I was hooked right away. So if you can see on the spreadsheet, what I did was, Chris, you get black, being the guest for Black Sabbath. Okay. Trevor gets the Master of Reality purple, and I get the Sabbath Bloody Sabbath red. So... And what we're going to do is, it's like we're playing golf here. The lower the score, the better the album, at least in our opinions. And then we'll see what the totals are at the end and see what the general consensus is. So before we start ranking, just going to play catch up with everybody here. Pie Face, thank you for tuning in at this late hour. Marcia, you didn't see the promo. We said it was a 6 o'clock start tonight. let's see, Richards, Vinyl Tap House here. Probably saying hi to Scott. There's Mark at Twanger's Turntable. How you doing, Mark? Oh, Trevor, well, you forgot your age, Trevor.
I aged myself by
Why is Trevor sending a text here?
because I just said I was 55, and I'm like, no, I'm 54. I'm already like advancing in age in my head.
Yeah.
All right, so Chris, kick us off with the worst Black Sabbath album in your humble opinion.
Okay, so before I say that I just want to say I don't really think that there are any bad Sabbath albums, but obviously we're here to rank them.
Right.
So putting this at number 20, I don't know. Again, it's not, in my opinion, a bad Sabbath album, but out of all of them, I'm going to put number 13 at 20. And again, great album, great songs, but I almost feel like they're sort of kind of going through the motions a little bit, retreading past successes. I mean, I with End of the Beginning, God is Dead, Loner, great songs, but I don't know. I feel like they were kind of following the pattern of the first album a little bit, but is that a bad thing? I don't know, but I'm putting it at number 20. I'm putting Seventh Star at 19. This, of course, had Glenn Hughes on vocals. I guess it was supposed to be a Tony Iommi solo project.
Yep.
Some great songs. I love In for the Kill. No Stranger to Love is a great song. Title track. Number 19, Seventh Star. Love the Tony Martin years. I'm a huge Tony Martin fan. So happy that they, had the box set that just came out and they reissued Eternal Idol for Record Store Day. So along the lines of Tony Martin, I'm putting Cross Purposes at 18. I also have the Cross Purposes live album, which is cool.
I have that too, yeah.
Yeah, to hear Tony Martin singing, some of the other tunes. Along with still another Tony Martin album, I'm putting Tear at 17. So some of these, I love the Sabbath Stones on this album. That's probably the highlight for me on Tear, the Sabbath Stones. And then at 16, I'm putting The Devil You Know, Sharon Osbourne. I was listening to this the other day. This is a very heavy freaking record. I mean, it starts off with Adam and Evil, and then you've got Fear. By Black is freaking insane. So, just a great album. So, at 20, I had 13. 19 was Seven Star. 18, Cross Purposes. 17, Tear. And 16, Devil You Know.
All right. Very good. Trevor.
Okay. If I was Anthony, a betting man, I'm having a feeling that this is going to be a sweep. But yeah, number 20, 13.
Okay.
Like Chris said, it's not that it's a bad album. I would say that they were using blueprints of songs from the first two albums to make songs here. Like, was it Zeitgeist? Sounds like Planet Caravan Part 2.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. It's been so long since I've listened to this. And maybe it's Age of Reason. Sounded like it's like they were trying to go with an NIB type feel. End of the Beginning tries to sound like Black Sabbath song. And so it just, I think the nice part was at the end of Dear Father, where it goes into the lightning crash to kind of make it full circle. But overall, from what I gather, Rick Rubin was barely there for this thing. He just said, I want you to, put yourself as if, you didn't put out any records after Paranoid. So maybe it worked for some people. For me, it didn't. So anyway, I'll try to quickly get through this. Number 19, just got it the other weekend. Eternal Idol.
Oh man, you're putting Eternal Idol that low?
Yeah, well, to me, it's like, it's 1987, and I got to put myself in 1987. Was I listening to this record? No, not at all. And it sounds like a 1987 record. I don't know. It doesn't do much for me, but I mean, it's still good. And this is where it's going to get really stupid at 18.
Right.
Technical
Wow.
accuracy.
Wow.
Oh shit! Easy,
Aside-
Trevor. Easy, Trevor.
Hey,
Man.
my list.
Why don't you just put the debut at 20?
I'm shocked at that.
Because this album has never done anything for me. I mean, it's got some good stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
out of all the things, It's All Right is like my favorite song on here.
That's
But
Bill Ward.
I know to some people it's like a throwaway song, but I never liked Dirty Women or Rock and Roll Doctor. I mean, for Sabbath, it seemed like
Rock
that
and Roll
was,
Doctor is a bad song.
yeah. I mean, that sounded like something that maybe Elton John would have done on an edgier day. But
Yeah.
so Technical Ecstasy at 18.
All right, are we ready for Paranoid here, Steve?
I was actually listening to this today, and I actually moved it up a bit. Yeah, Tear. I was actually really enjoying this,
Oh.
especially the Lawmaker. It almost sounded like it should have been a Motorhead song with Tony Martin singing on it. You know, almost edging on thrash.
Yeah.
We got that at 17 and 16. Another one that's gonna make a head scratcher for some people. Dehumanizer. Songs are good. Production is, to me, is just awful on this album. I think it goes in the same realm as like Saint Anger in production with this album. So but still, the songs are good. This tour was actually the first time I saw Sabbath too. So
I wanted to ask you because I have Dehumanizer on CD. I'm actually showing all CD today because I didn't feel like digging out the vinyl. But how does that sound on vinyl? Is that the reissue?
yeah, from a couple years ago. Yeah, I mean it sounds fine. Like I just said, it's the production. I don't think Mac was the guy for Sabbath. They should have used someone else.
Yeah.
The drums on there just sound horrific, but the playing is great. The songs are great.
Yeah.
Just production. So that's my 16.
Well, you both had Tear at 17.
Well, we both had 13 at 20 too.
Well, yeah, but I think that's a given, and that is also my first pick. 24, 13. Just a horrible album. When I listen to that, I know, Chris, you say there's not a bad Black Sabbath album. I disagree. This is a bad Black Sabbath album. This album was so disappointing to me. Granted, it was 35 years in the making or whatever. So it probably wasn't going to meet my expectations no matter what happened. But it just, yeah, I mean, the riffs aren't there for one thing. I don't hear the riffs, at least not the guy that I fell in love with who became my number one guitarist. I don't hear him there. And yeah, like I say, it's an unmemorable album for me. And I am glad that all three of us picked it as last because it deserves it. All right. Number 19 for me is The Devil You Know. That's for you, Sharon. You know what? Yeah, you're right, Chris. This is a pretty heavy album. It's probably their heaviest album with Dio, I think.
He sounds good too.
Yeah. But yeah, it just kind of sits there for me. Now at 18, I am putting Dehumanizer. I've never liked that album from the get-go. Even though I already had it on CD, I bought the vinyl when it came out. Just because I'm a completist, I had to have it on vinyl. So, is yours gray? I think mine is gray. Is yours gray, Trevor?
No, I believe mine is Black as Sabbath itself.
Okay.
Let me check.
I gotta pick that up.
What's that, Chris?
I was just saying I have to pick that up on vinyl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's good. Also, I forgot to mention, has to be their worst album cover, too.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. All right. Up next for me then is at 17. Where is it? Oh, there it is right there. Cross Purposes. And I'm like you, Chris. I love Tony Martin.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when I started thinking about this, I was like, I knew what my first 10, 12 albums were going to be. I pretty much knew the order. I think I maybe moved one of them. And I pretty much knew what my bottom 5 were going to be. I certainly knew which the bottom 3 were and the correct order. But then this week I listened to everything from 7 Star on, with the exception of 13. I listened to all of those albums a number of times this week, just trying to figure out where I wanted to slot these. So Cross Purposes comes in at 17. And then at 16 is Forbidden.
Okay.
And even though I like the way Tony cleaned it up, I mean, it sounds a lot better now on the box set. But I'm not surprised that for me, having grown up with them as the albums were coming out, that my bottom 5 albums are their last 5 albums. So, all right, let's play catch up here with comments. Last we saw was Twanger. MGK's here. Morton is saying hi to everybody in the room. Twanger saying hi. Saying hi again. Okay, everybody's saying hi to everybody. Here we go. Douglas Gilbert. My first was hearing Sweet Leaf on the radio and buying Master Rally to 71. Yeah. Richard saying hi to everybody. Twanger, did the coughing get you, Douglas Gilbert? Morton smiling. Steve looks incredibly serious. Well, it's a serious subject matter, Mike. We are critiquing my favorite band of all time. Are they your favorite band of all time, Chris?
They're up there. Not my favorite band of all time, no.
And that would be who then? Do you know?
Oh, geez, put me on the spot. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I have a lot of favorite bands. I mean, Black Sabbath's definitely up there. Kiss is up there. Iron Maiden is up there for me. I mean, favorite singers, I got to go Johnny Cash. So yeah, I'd have to think about the ranking of all those, but
yeah,
Black Sabbath's definitely up there.
Okay. Richard saying hi. No solution. I would rather listen to 13 than never say die. Really? Wow.
Wow, that's ballsy.
Okay. You are entitled to your wrong opinion, Scott. Richard, I think I only have 3 Sabbath albums.
Well, don't all these people know that we're right, Steve?
Apparently not. Mark is saying I'm with you that Trevor Pie Face, same here, never say die, wouldn't get spun again by me. Wow. Okay. Scott is saying you're spicy, Trevor.
Maybe I'll be his next thumbnail.
Oh, God. I'm hoping we're not seeing you in one of those poses. I don't know if Marcia has all of them. I know Marcia has some Sabbath.
Yeah.
See, Simon, we can agree on some things. I get your earlier comment, Trev.
Oh, yeah, when we were talking. I didn't want to talk any Sabbath when we were
okay.
talking.
Okay. Railstonian is here. How you doing, Steve?
What's up, Steve?
Yeah, you know what, Scott? You're not far from off. Forbidden might be the second worst, I think, of their album covers. Oh, really? Eternal Idol, huh? I mean, yeah, everybody thinks differently. I mean, to me, it's just, nothing about Eternal Idol album cover offends me or anything. It's actually nudity, Scott. I'm surprised you're not all over it.
How many people are watching the stream?
11 right now. So, Okay. Any? Well, let's critique each other here on our 5. So I'm gonna say, let's see. Well, Trevor, the biggest shock, technical ecstasy at 18. I was kind of surprised Eternal Idol was there for you. I thought they would have done a little better. Let's see, Chris. Let's see. Oh, 19th Star. I'm surprised it's that low, but do you like Glenn Hughes? You like Glenn Hughes as a singer?
I do like Glenn Hughes.
Oh, okay.
I don't really pull that album out that often.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Trevor. Let's me and Chris know what you think of our picks.
I'm very much of like to each their own. I mean, I can't critique it, if people, because I know mine is like completely out of whack of the status quo of Sabbath fans.
Yeah.
It's just some albums I've spent way more time in, and we'll find those out later on. And these are just the ones that just either didn't do much for me, or I just haven't spent enough time with to really, have some kind of, I know this is going to sound deep, but a relationship with them.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
right.
and that's what's tough with ranking. Like you were saying, Steve, for a lot of us, we can pretty much do our top 5 right off the bat.
That's
but
easy.
And then top 10 are usually pretty easy too. But from like 10 to 20, it's just kind of day by day how some of those might shift.
Yeah, I had one move up pretty far for me this week. I didn't realize how much I actually liked that album.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now we're just going to do 4.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris can kick us off again with his number 15.
Okay, well, I believe your number 16 was Forbidden. My number 15 is Forbidden. And, again, Tony Martin on here. I think I actually quoted the lyrics "Get a Grip" in my senior picture in the yearbook, high school senior picture.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, don't laugh. But I really like that song. I love the riff on Rusty Angels. It reminds me of a Dokken tune off of Back for the Attack, the big hit. I can't remember. Not Dream Warriors, but Burning Like a Flame, maybe.
Okay.
So, yeah, listen to the riff of Rusty Angels. It reminds me of Burning Like a Flame. So that's 15. I'm putting Dehumanizer at 14. I agree with you guys. Not big fan of the cover. What saves this album is Dio. I think if Dio wasn't singing on this, it might have been somewhere between 16 and 20 for me. But Dio puts in a great performance, and Time Machine is a great song.
Mm-hmm.
13. The Headless Cross. Dun, 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 dun. Love that riff. Love this album. Again, Tony Martin on vocals. And yeah, Headless Cross. Great album. And then, I don't know, this could be a little bit of a shock for some people, but at 12, I'm putting Heaven and Hell.
No, yeah, that is a shocker.
Not my favorite of the first 2 Dio Black Sabbath albums. Obviously, you guys know the other one that I'm more fond of. But you can't deny the songs on here. I just rarely pull this one out. And if I'm going to pull one out, it's going to be Mob Rules. So at 12, I'm putting Heaven and Hell. There you go.
Great. Very good. Trevor.
All right. Number 15. Yeah, easily up there with bad album covers, but got a new life with the remix.
All right.
Forbidden. Definitely sounds a lot better now than it did. I cranked that a couple times since it came out in the box set. 14. Cross Purposes. Good songs, but again, one that I didn't spend a ton of time with. I don't know, this early 90s, mid 90s period was just, I was elsewhere in my musical taste at the time. So I, again, didn't really spend a ton of time with it, but still good stuff on there. Was this 13? What are we doing?
Cross
Yeah,
references for you was 14, yeah.
Okay. Never say die.
Okay,
Again,
that'll make Pie happy.
it just, the title track is great. And then after that, there's not a lot here for me. And then finally, from 89, Headless Cross, like Chris was saying, title track alone saves this album. Yeah, it's a slight nod to Heaven and Hell on the bass line, but yeah, it's good stuff. Cozy Powell on drums just absolutely rips on this entire album. So
I also like When Death Calls too.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and then back real quick on Forbidden, I did see them on that tour, but
Okay.
it was one of those shows where they booked it in a big place and they hardly had anyone.
I was going to say, what size venue was it in?
17,000
Oh, Jesus.
outdoor, and that's where we've said the term papered the town with the vouchers.
Right.
So we went there and mostly to see Motorhead opening. So, and it was on 4th of July. So it was, the big local outdoor amphitheater. So it was a great time to spend 4th of July seeing Motorhead and very, at the time, I mean, keep in mind, this is 95. Sabbath was so out of fashion at that point. But, for 4th of July, it was nice. It was cool.
All right. That was a promoter who had no idea what the crowd was for them at that point in time.
Right. Must have been the same person who booked Judas Priest on the Demolition Tour at the Palace of Auburn Hills, which is a 20,000 seater, and didn't look at the rest of the itinerary where they were playing theaters.
Well, I think another problem around that time is they were on IRS, correct?
Yeah.
So I don't think IRS knew what to do with Sabbath, and I don't think they really promoted them well. So, I mean, maybe they were a joke in IRS's eyes as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. For me, at number 15 is Eternal Idol. I don't care what Scott says about the album cover. I think it's a decent album. It's not one I play a lot, but it's the first Tony Martin album, so it was something new. I mean, after going through they had just gone through 3 singers in the last 3 albums, so it was like, okay, well, I guess it's somebody else's turn.
Yeah.
So, all right, then 14 for me is Seventh Star. And actually, this dropped a little this week. I thought it would have been a little higher, but I mean, I love Glenn Hughes, so I can remember getting this at the record store when it came out. And remember, it was a flip side that used to be about a mile and a half from my house here, and seeing it in the bin, and I'm like, oh my God, Black Sabbath featuring Tony Iommi. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a little different. You got love power ballad on there. But all right, 13 for me is, well, apparently this will be the lowest rating this is going to get, and that is Born Again. When it was announced, you've got my favorite guitarist and my favorite all-time singer. I thought, oh man, this is going to be fantastic. And initially it wasn't. One, because of the production. I mean, that seems to be the universal feeling, is that the production's horrible. It's just a bad sounding album. But for me, when it first came out, I just couldn't get into it because of the songs. As time has passed, I like the album a lot more now than I did. I just wish they'd get around to giving this a proper remixing too. And number 12 for me is, I have this the highest of anybody here, and that is Tear. That opening track, to me, that is Anno Demuni or Anno Mundi. To me, that's Tony Iommi's best riff since, well, probably since Mob Rules. I mean, everything that after that, you had Born Again and Seven Star, Eternal Idol, Headless Cross. But that, I love the riff on that. So that takes care of that. And if you see me clicking, highlighting all these yellow under the total, that means everybody's picked that album now. So I'm just doing that. That's more, let's say, internal bookkeeping.
All right.
Let's see. Okay, we'll play catch up on comments now here. Douglas Gilbert, I was at that show. Whoops. God damn it. Yep. I was at that show. That's when Ozzy split his pants. Yep. Okay. Chris, first channel on the VC that I followed. I'm forever grateful to him. There you go, Chris.
Awesome.
That's from Steve at Spinning the Blues, formerly Ralstonian, Thomas Weary. I'm just getting into the albums without Ozzy and Dio. They're interesting so far, but anywhere near where Ozzy and Dio were at. Twanger, Steve. It was me, not Scott. Oh, okay, that's right. I'm sorry. Sorry, Scott, to diss you on the Eternal Idol album cover. Let's see. Marcia, Michiganders are up north for the 4th.
That's probably, well, one of the things that didn't help that show. Yeah.
And Twanger, I get it. Gillen with Black Sabbath after Deep seemed weird. Yeah, I get it when you're 15 years old. Yeah, I mean, me having grown up with Ozzy, and then they did the 2 albums with Dio, which for me, it was, I couldn't accept it. I did not buy Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules until probably around 2000. I mean, that's how much it hurt me for Ozzy to be gone from Black Sabbath, because to me, that was it. I mean, he was the voice of Black Sabbath. I didn't want to hear anybody else singing with him. But for whatever reason, I bought Born Again when it came out, and I bought Seventh Star when it came out, because, I don't know, maybe it was like I needed, it was like you break up, the next girl is the recovery, and then you're ready to go back with the old love again. So maybe that's what it was. I just couldn't take Ronnie James Dio as the one who'd been cheating on me with my favorite band of all time. And there's Olivier. How you doing, Olivier? Okay. All right. Well, Trevor doesn't want to critique us. So, anything you want to say about my picks?
I don't think so. I think we've been pretty similar. I mean, there's been a couple surprises like Technical Ecstasy and things like that, but I think it's been kind of what I thought it was going to be so far.
Okay. All right. Okay, so the next 4, Chris, kick us off.
Yeah, and I think this is where
starting to get into the meaty stuff now.
Yeah, this is where it's going to get interesting because all of these albums are so good. Yeah, so here we go. This is going to piss some people off, but I'm putting Volume 4 at number 11.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did you not see the T-shirt I'm wearing?
I actually have that T-shirt too.
From the banner hanging back there.
I know. I know it's crazy, but there's other albums I like more than Volume 4. I mean, it's got Snowblind on it and Under the Sun, which is so heavy. St. Vitus's Dance, Wheels of Confusion, The Ballad Changes. But it's going at 11. All right, number 10. Paranoid.
Wow.
Yeah, it's getting crazy now.
Yeah. Man.
I love this album. I'm starting to like a lot of the deeper cuts more, like Electric Funeral and Hand of Doom, and I've always loved Fairies Wear Boots. But through the years, certain albums have just climbed more up the ranking for me. Oh man, this is going to be interesting.
All right.
Number 9, the debut.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know, crazy, right?
Whose idea was this to bring him on, Trevor?
Yours?
Yeah, I mean, this is the album that a lot of people say started heavy metal. I get it. I love Black Sabbath. I love The Wizard. You know, as it gets into, and again, NIB's on here. Do I listen to Wicked World and Bit of Finger and Sleeping Village that often? Not really, but still a great record, putting it at number 9. And I've always loved this album. Number 8, Never Say Die. I tend to go to albums that maybe people don't like as much, and this is one that is pretty polarizing. For the longest time, I didn't think Ozzy even sang on this or Technical Ecstasy, and I was surprised to find that he did. But I love the title track. I love Johnny Blade. Junior's Eyes is cool. A Hard Road is a very, very underrated Sabbath song. Air Dance is a top 5 Sabbath song for me. I love the I love the jazziness of that.
Yeah, you got a saxophone on a Black Sabbath song.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know me. I listen to kind of everything, so Air Dance does it for me. I love that tune. So yeah, there we go. Surprise, surprise. That's my 11 through 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm in a little bit of shock here, but
well, again, I mean, none of these albums are bad. I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm not saying the debut and Paranoid and Volume 4 are bad albums. It's just, for me, there's certain albums that I go to more than those albums.
All right, Trevor.
All right.
Number 11 for you, yeah.
7-star, 86. Again, at the time, I'm neck deep into thrash and hardcore stuff, and this comes out, and I love the single "No Stranger to Love" on this, but the opening track "In for the Kill" is kind of a nice opener. High energy. I mean, the band that he put together for this was, I mean, obviously we all know, like we already went over, this was intended to be a solo album, and Warner Brothers said that it would fail if it was a solo album. And you know what? To their credit, probably wouldn't have sold as much if it was just Tony Iommi album.
It didn't sell much anyway. Is yours a cutout? Because a lot of those you'll find in the bins are cutouts.
No, this is actually, I bought this used, and turns out it's a club edition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I need to get that on vinyl.
So, but overall, it's a good album, especially having just that one Glenn Hughes. And then 10, WNO.
Wow, high praise for that album.
Yeah, well, it's good songs. I mean, some of the lyrics are kind of hokey, but like production's good, songs are good. It's got my favorite lineup on there. So there's that, and then so that's now we're at number 9. Debut.
Wow.
That's where I had it too.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, we all respect it to the highest. It deserves it. It's the birth of, arguably metal, especially the title track, the namesake. The rest of it is pretty much a blues record, but it's dark, and it sparked a genre. And then 8, Paranoid.
Wow, Trevor, you and I were very similar with putting the debut in Paranoid that low.
Okay, I'm gonna put Paranoid in with the same category for me as like Dark Side of the Moon. It's one of those albums. Yes, it's great, but I really don't need to hear it that often because I've heard it so many times in my lifetime. You know, it's kind of in my DNA already. But you know, yes, you know, War Pigs, title track, Electric Funeral, Hand of Doom. I mean, just awesome tracks on here. It's just, you know, I've heard it so many times. It's, you know, I'm kind of go for other ones that came later. So, Paranoid.
All right. Okay, so my number 11 is Mob Rules.
Wow, that's surprising.
Well, you know, like I said, for me, it was hard once Odyssey left. It was a hard one to take. Hardest breakup of my life, Chris. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I've had those too. So
Hardest breakup of my life. Okay, number 10 then. So you know what's got to come next? Heaven and Hell.
okay.
Okay. And what's funny is I love Ronnie James Dio. I mean, especially with Elf and Rainbow. Oh,
Yeah.
But so number 9. Okay. Never Say Die. And this album, it's the perfect example of me not being able to accept another singer with Black Sabbath because, okay, Never Say Die, it's their 8th studio album, and we just talked about Air Dance with a saxophone. I was more willing to accept Black Sabbath with a saxophone in a song than I was with a new singer. So that was not easy to come by. And then number 8 is Technical Ecstasy. This is kind of Black Sabbath goes pop a little. It's a little too much light fare for me, but it's still Ozzy, so it's ranked higher than it probably should be, just because of the singer. And then number 7 for me is Paranoid, and it's not the fault of the songs. It's because the songs have been played so much. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we got Paranoid, Iron Man, War Pigs, all 3 of those. They've been played way too much, even by the band I was in. We played War Pigs and Paranoid, so I don't even know if that has to play into it that I heard those songs too many damn times. It's very rare that I play this album anymore. It's just, especially of the first 6 albums, it's the one I play the least, no doubt about it. And then number 6 for me is.
I thought we were just doing 4 more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right, I get getting carried away there. Okay, good catch. All right, so do I got any more of these to fill in here? Have we done everything? Oh yeah, we got Never Say Die. Everybody has picked. Okay, let me catch up here on comments and let's see, where did we leave off? With Olivier. Douglas Gilbert, he's talking about the show that him and I both saw. Yeah, because they had the huge lit up cross and they opened up with Superzar.
Nice.
Twanger, is there a problem with my volume here? He didn't like the pick. Scott, Chris will not be invited back after volume 4, disrespect. Okay, Mark again. I thought I was a contrarian. Good for you, because that's what I wanted to ask you, Chris, because you had even made a point about how sometimes you like stuff that other people. Are you a contrarian in other walks of life, or is it just pretty much music?
Yeah, I wouldn't put a label on it. Like I said, I just feel like, I just feel like I'm drawn to, like, if somebody says, I don't like that album, I'm like, all right, now I need to hear it. What's going on with the reason people don't like it? And then I tend to be drawn to those albums. So maybe I am. I don't know. I also, like I said before, I listen to so many different, like we do. We all listen to different genres of music, but I'm like into like Broadway show tunes and classical music and jazz and rock and heavy metal and punk and country. So like I like when bands sort of experiment and yeah. So if that makes me a contrarian, maybe I am. I don't know.
Okay. Here's Vance saying, "Hey Vance, you were at the John Anderson show Friday night. I heard. I was there too. I wish I would have known going in. I would have looked for you." Twanger, is up, man? How's it going, Vance? Yep, Emma's here. Hi, guys.
Hey, Emma.
Cool to see
What's up, Emma?
Chris joining you. We all got our picks, Emma. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Emma.
Vance, hey, Mark. Pie Face, Volume 4 didn't do much for me. What? Does Pie just not like Black Sabbath? Is that what he's saying? Vance saying hi to Emma. Richard saying hi to Emma. I'm saying hi to Richard. Twanger.
Hello.
Good man, just watched your Crow's Page review. Enjoying the rankings. One of my all-time favorite bands. Thomas Weary, Volume 4 has been my favorite since it came out. Picked it up today. Yep, I did too. I can remember walking up to the record store to get it. First impression was that they were evolving and the music just seemed to be more accessible. Vance says, thanks. I'm also interested if these good dudes rank the mighty Black Sabbath. Thank you, Vance. Twanger, it is indeed interesting. Zep Pearl. Same thing. Thank you, Mark. Sounds like Steve's take on Mob 3 is how I felt about VH3. Okay. Twanger, these are definitely the worst of the Ozzy era. Steve, save for 13. Oh, the Gatekeeper. Oh, there's Mickey.
Hey, Mickey.
Okay. Pie saying hi to Mickey. Vance. Yep. Would have been nice to catch up. Man, I was amazed by his voice, Vance. He sounded great. Scott saying Simon hates Black Sabbath. He told me privately.
Wow, those.
Oh, Pi actually likes Eternal Idol. Okay. I'm surprised he didn't say I like 13. Just piss all of us off. All right. I think we're all caught up on comments. Oh, we got 18 watching now, Chris, if you want to know.
Oh, okay.
So thank you, everybody. All right. So now, Chris, what is this? We're at
number 7.
Number 7.
All right. Well,
how did I get paranoid there?
Number 7, I'm putting my favorite Tony Martin album, Eternal Idol. I think I got this through a record. It was either BMG or Columbia House as a kid. But yeah, I love The Shining. I love the title track. And I was always, I love the title Scarlet Pimpernel too. Like that was it was a Broadway play. I don't think it was based off of that, but I was like, who names a song Scarlet Pimpernel? I always thought that was cool. But Glory Ride is great. Hard Life to Love. I love that record. That's why I was happy it finally came out. 6, I'm putting Born Again. The production doesn't bother me. For me, I feel like the production matches the vibe of the album, and Ian Gillan is just screaming like a banshee all over this album. I mean, I love Trashed and Disturbing the Priest, where I believe that didn't they say Guns N' Roses stole that riff for Paradise City or something like that? I don't know.
No, Zero the Hero.
Oh, Zero the Hero. Okay. Yeah, so Zero the Hero too. Digital Bitch is fun. The title track is one of the scariest songs Sabbath ever did. Hotline is almost like a Deep Purple song with Black Sabbath playing it. It's just got that Deep Purple vibe to it. And then Keep It Warm is an interesting song. I've read the lyrics to that, wondering like, what are we trying to keep warm? I mean, I think I know what it is, but I don't know. It's an interesting song, but Born Again, number 6. I love Experimental Sabbath. I'm putting Technical Ecstasy at 5. I liked when they started to get proggy. Backstreet Kids, You Won't Change Me is great. Gypsy's cool. All Moving Parts, Stand Still. I feel like it's an interesting arrangement for that song. Rock and Roll Doctor sounds like it could have been a Kiss tune. The ballad She's Gone is great. I like Dirty Women. I think you guys said you don't. Was it? No, it was Rock and Roll Doctor you didn't like.
I don't like Rock and Roll Doctor. I don't think Trevor liked Dirty Women. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, both I didn't like, but yeah.
Okay. But that's number 5 for me. And man, number 4, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. This freaking album. I mean, what's the song? Oh, Spiral Architect. That is an amazing song. I love the keyboards and Who Are You? The title track, the first time I heard Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, I believe Anthrax did a cover of it. Mm-hmm. And that was the first time I heard it. Then I went back and listened to the Black Sabbath version. I like the Black Sabbath version better than the Anthrax version, but man, this is a heavy, proggy, experimental. Like, it's one of those albums where you don't know what's coming next around the corner. That's what I like about it. Plus, the cover art is amazing. How you have the evil on the front and the good on the back, and the gatefold was cool too. So, number 4, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
All right, Trevor.
Cool. 7. Logo got used many times for this album. Master of Reality basically created this stoner doom metal genre with this album alone. Everyone's tried to copy this ever since then. Of course, you got Sweet Leaf starting it off, and Children of the Grave. Lord of This World is another one. I love the Corrosion of Conformity version of that one. But yep, stoner doom metal at its finest. Number 6, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Yeah, we were just talking about it. This was probably, to me, like they're not their most experimental, but most realized album, maybe, just with the production that they went in with this one. Of course, title track, classic. Actually had Fluff played during dinner at my wedding reception.
Good song, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then of course Spiral Architect that Chris was just talking about, great closer. And then 5, Sabotage. Arguably out of the Ozzy years, their heaviest album. When you get something like Symptom of the Universe that just cranks out. Superstar's on this, right?
Yeah.
And then Megalomania, which either you guys got that Past Lives album?
I do.
No, I don't have
Okay.
that.
Well, there's actually a rare live version of Megalomania on there. So
no, I have to get that. I love Iommi's guitar tone on that album.
Yes. And then number 4, appropriately, Volume 4. Easily my favorite Ozzy era Black Sabbath album. Especially Supernaut, which I got introduced to that song through Thousand Homo DJs, AKA Ministry. So then I eventually got this album and fell in love with this one. All kinds of cool stuff on this.
All righty. So I had jumped the gun there before. So we know my number 7 pick is Paranoid. Like I said, I've heard it enough. It's an album certainly of the first 8 that I very rarely go to anymore these days. Number 6 for me is Headless Cross. Yes. Highest by far of the 3 of us. You guys had it at 12 and 13. Trevor mentioned Cozy Powell. Yeah. He's like the heaviest drums this side of John Bonham. Just love the drums on that album, and there are a lot of great riffs on that album. So the highest I rank any non-Ozzy album. Number 5 for me is Sabotage. And then number 4 is Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Yeah. When I was in a band, we used to play Killing Yourself to Live. The one song on there I've always struggled with is Who Are You? It's just kind of, yeah, it just gets a little repetitive with the Who Are You? But, and Chris mentioned the album cover. Yeah, is it their best album cover? Yeah, probably. I think it is. I mean, the first album's probably the most iconic album cover of theirs, but artwork-wise, I would say that album's their best album cover. And that takes us, we've got to go to our top 3 now, but let's catch up again. Let's see where we left off here.
This is what's great about music. I mean, we're all over the place. Like,
oh yeah,
especially the top 10. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. You talk with anybody when someone's like, "Wow, why did you rank Volume 4 so low?" Or "How the hell did you put Headless Cross at number whatever?" And like, it's all subjective, but that's what's great. I mean, we all come to these bands at different times in our lives and from different things, and different sounds resonate with us differently. So it's just kind of cool to kind of hear where everybody's putting these.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Twinger saying hi to Mickey Douglas. Second time he saw Black Sabbath was when he worked as volunteer usher at the Boston Orpheum. Okay, here's Scott again. I think the production adds to Born Again. Love it. Okay. Twinger saying hi. Zep Pearl. Yep. Yeah, they've been talking about this for years. But so you're fine, Chris. You wouldn't want to hear a cleaned up version. Would you buy it?
I'd buy it. I'm fine with it. It's sort of like when they cleaned up Rock-a-Rolla. I was fine with the original Rock-a-Rolla.
Mm-hmm.
But I still bought the new one. I would buy Born Again.
Yeah.
The Born Again Revisited, or whatever the hell they're going to call it.
Yep. Born Again and Again.
Yeah.
Born Again, yeah.
Reborn Again. Yep. Pi has never heard Born Again. Okay, so we don't know if he likes it or not.
Wow, I think he would dig it.
I think he would too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Same thing, Twinger. I'd be interested to hear a Born Again remix, but I don't think it needs it like Forbidden did. Good cover too. Oh, I guess he likes the album cover of Born Again. Okay. Twinger needs Pie, but I don't know. It's nostalgia for me, so I'm biased. Venom did a good cover of Megalomania.
Yeah, I'd gotta look that up. I've never heard that.
Pie, yeah, nostalgia. I've got no nostalgia with Sabbath at all. Only songs he's heard on the radio. Okay. Yep, love Wheels of Confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Scott likes Headless Cross. Wow. Okay. Wow, Trevor, your bread is fucking awesome. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, no, it was a typo. Beard.
I'm like,
I was like, oh, you bake your own bread?
Correct. I don't know. It was like Trevor got another channel where he's making bread. Did he tell us about?
Yeah, it's called Number of the Yeast.
Nice. Number of the Yeast.
All right, Pie Face has a original copy of Headless Cross.
Nice.
I'm surprised you got it cheap.
Well, I mean, there was that time when that came out. I mean, that was what, 89?
Yeah.
It's like I was saying in my RSD video with Eternal Idol. That was after its initial run. That year. After that, it was a bargain bin album.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but Pie's saying he got it recently, so.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he's saying pretty mint and it was cheap.
Huh.
So, although I guess it's, yeah, got Headless Cross recently, pretty mint and it was cheap. So,
Huh. Okay.
all right, so here we go down to the final three. Do we want to do all three at once or just go each of us three? And then we'll each go again on two and each go again on one. We can do kind of snake wise too here.
I like that idea.
Team selection.
Do a round of three, a round of two, and a round
of
one.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go first, Chris. I'll go third, and then I'll go first, then Trevor, and then you.
All right.
Okay, so my number three is appropriately their third album, Master of Reality. Trevor covered it at Beginner Stoner Rock. Actually, a pretty big change from the first two albums, and and a very very iconic font. Everybody has used it. Mm-hmm. So, yep.
Yeah. Well, and plus, that's probably the first record that they had to write before they went into the studio.
Yeah.
There wasn't any. I'm sure they, had everything that was, in the cupboard.
Right. Yeah. They weren't a band that had much in the archives at all. That's which is kind of sucked for the box set releases, that there's not much there,
Right.
So, all right, Trevor, you're number three.
Probably, one of the first ones I remember it coming out at the time, but Born Again. Nice. Arguably their heaviest album that they made. Like Chris said, I have no problem with the production of this. If they do a remix, I'll probably get it. Just to see how different it sounds and if it does sound better. I don't know. I've always accepted this one as is. Title track is probably my favorite song off this. One of my favorite Sabbath songs altogether. And I think it kind of inspired some of the slower death metal too with the production of this. So, Born Again, number trace.
Nice.
All right, Chris, you're number three.
My number three is Mob Rules. Freaking love this album. One of my favorite songs is The Sign of the Southern Cross. Just a killer song. The rhythm on Country Girl, that riff he's got on that is just, I love that as well. Of course, Turn Up the Night. I always thought Turn Up the Night could have been a cool, beer commercial song. It's like Budweiser, Turn Up the Night.
Right.
And, that is good. I don't know, I'm playing the melody in my head.
Actually, no, even better for Bud Light. Turn Up the Night.
Yeah.
With Bud Light.
I guess I don't know, it's not too late, but yeah, and then the title track. I love the cover too. I don't even know what the hell's going on there. I don't know who these ghouls or whatever they are on that front cover, but very mysterious. I like it better, obviously, than Heaven and Hell. It's some of Dio's best vocals. So, yeah, number three, Mob Rules.
Okay. All right. Number two. I'm down to my two favorite. Well, obviously, we're all down to our favorite two albums. This was a tough call for me. Because how am I not making this my favorite album by them? But it doesn't matter which one of these I rank one or two, because they're not going to be ranked one or two by all three of us here. Going by the point total, I can already see what's going to be the number one album. Mm-hmm. So number two, I am taking the debut. It's my initial introduction to them. And when I was sitting here trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I was like, it's got the title song, it's got NIB, it's got the Wizard. How can I not have this be number one? But I'll get to that when I talk about my number one. So yes, the debut is number two. So Trevor, who you got?
Number 2, Heaven and Hell. Just bringing in Ronnie after the breakup of the original lineup. Actually, the title track is not just my all-time favorite Black Sabbath song. It's my all-time favorite song. Period.
Wow.
Because everyone's been asking, "What's your favorite song of all time?" Well, it depends on the day, what hour it is. If
Right.
the sun is out. No, I always say Heaven and Hell, Black Sabbath, favorite song in the world, and yeah, I mean there are some songs that are a bit more rock and roll ish on this one, but still overall, I think this is just a fantastic album. Uh, love the artwork to it. And let's face it, it really did truly resurrect Sabbath from, just being a complete 70s dinosaur at the time. So,
Right.
Heaven and Hell.
Have you heard Stryper's version of Heaven and Hell?
Once, and I just found it weird.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Okay, Chris, you're number two.
My number 2, the mighty Master of Reality. We've talked about this album. To me, this is one of their heaviest. The guitar riff for Into the Void, I'm going to put that with Symptom of the Universe as 2 of the heaviest riffs they ever did. You've got the coughing before Sweet Leaf, and I find the instrumentals on here very interesting as well. Embryo and Orchid. I don't get tired of hearing those 2 instrumentals. And then I love Lord of this World and Children of the Grave and After Forever. Just an amazing, amazing album. So number 2, Master of Reality.
Nice.
All right. So number one. If you're playing along at home, you can see what's number one. For me, it is Volume 4. So for many reasons. One, the first time I saw him live was on that tour. When I was in a band, we played Tomorrow's Dream. I can remember they opened up with Tomorrow's Dream at that show. But I mean, my God, Wheels of Confusion, Tomorrow's Dream, Snowblind, Supernaut, Under the Sun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and even with the rest, I'm going to call the deep tracks, St. Vitus Dance and Cornucopia. Yeah, just
Cornucopia. That's a heavy riff.
That's a very heavy song. Yes. Yeah. That could have been on Master of Reality, really.
And still, you gotta also give them props for their business prowess of getting royalties off of FX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the big game changer of that album was Changes. I mean, for them to do a song like that after those first 3 albums, and then when that came on, I was like, holy shit, man, it was just, I mean, it was beyond different. It was just a complete unexpected turn for them. So,
well, I think what was cool about this time is that I think heavy metal was still trying to figure out what it was. I mean, you hear like the Scorpions' first album, Lonesome Crow. It's more of like it's one of my favorite Scorpions albums, but it's more
my
bluesy.
favorite Scorpions album.
Yeah, and then of course the first Sabbath album, like Trevor was saying, it is based in the blues. Rockarola doesn't sound like it sounds a little like Sad Wings of Destiny, but Rockarola is one of my favorite Priest albums. But my point is that I think these guys were all trying to figure out what is the sound that we're creating, and that's why we were getting songs like Changes, because it was okay to do that, because nobody really knew what this thing was that they were creating.
Yeah, and Deep Purple did it with Anyone's Daughter. You know.
Oh, one of my Fireball is my favorite Deep Purple album.
Is it really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Trevor, your number one is Mob Rules.
Yes. Again, it's the introduction for me with this band as a whole, as opposed to hearing the one track. Sorry about my idiot dogs in the background. But yeah, this is the first full album I heard. Top to bottom, every song is fantastic in my opinion. I did see later on, a couple years, a book with of Greg Hildebrandt, who did the artwork here, and basically all this stuff on here was added on. I mean, this picture was probably from like the mid '70s, I want to say. It's not my favorite artwork from Sabbath, but the songs are undeniable on here. Like Chris was saying, "Sign of the Southern Cross," especially live. Oh my god, that was such a killer song. Yeah, just favorite one. Mob Rules.
And Chris, your number one
has always been Sabotage. This was the first. I told you guys I bought a Sabbath album and a Metallica album on the first day. Well, it was Sabotage and Ride the Lightning by Metallica. So it's got that sentimental aspect to it, but again, I also love the experimentation on this album. I mean, it starts off with Hole in the Sky, which is so good. I love the little instrumental, Don't Start Too Late. Symptom of the Universe is one of the best Black Sabbath songs ever. But the two epic tracks, Megalomania and The Writ, are so good. I love the choir that they bring in Superstar, and the thrill of it all is very cool. And I just feel like they weren't resting on their laurels. They kept trying new things. And as I said, heavy metal was evolving through the 70s, and I think Sabbath was at the forefront. And this is one of those albums that I feel was right up there. I mean, the cover's a little strange.
Yep.
I guess they were coming. They thought it was, a photo shoot or something. And I still don't know why Bill Ward was wearing his wife's tights.
His wife's tights.
Yeah, I don't know, but I love the kimono that Ozzy's wearing. I like the cover. I even like "Am I Going Insane?" That's a great song as well. But yeah, Sabotage always been my favorite.
Nice.
All right, before we break this all down, let's catch up on the comments. For the beer commercial, they should spell it Night, N-I-T-E. Here's Ron Haggerty on his, 6th, 7th, 8th channel name. I don't know. It's hard to keep up with you, Ron. His top 5 are Volume 4, Headless Cross, Mob Rules, Eternal Idol, and Dehumanizer. Wow, there's a contrarian pick. Dehumanizer, number 1. Twanger, hi Ron. Ron says it's so killer. Scott, nice ranking, Ron. I wouldn't put Dehumanizer 1, but it ranks. Oh, Scott likes Dehumanizer a lot too, huh? Twanger, Dio was foreboding the present with Computer God. Love the entire album. Okay.
See, that one is an album that would be cool for a remix, I think.
Right, Striper did covers of both Heaven and Hell and After Forever.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
Heaven and Hell is up there for me too, Trevor. I never tire of it. Douglas Gilbert, Steve, have you seen the documentary? Yeah, I've seen that thing floating around on YouTube. In fact, Trevor sent a text link to it the other day.
Yeah, with your cameo in it.
That's right. Cornucopia alone puts Volume 4 as my favorite. Ozzy, okay. Twanger, did you play Changes, Steve? Lead vocal? No, I was not lead vocals. I played bass, Mark. I had no business being anywhere near a microphone. Zup, Love, Heaven and Hell was really my deep intro due to the film Black and Blue. Mm-hmm. Steve, remember on TV? I do remember.
Oh, I remember on TV, yes.
Yeah, well, you being from the Midwest, yeah, you probably got it, Trevor. By Face, I have to give Volume 4 some more spins. Do you like Change? I like it. It's just, if I'm going to skip a song on that album, that's the one I would skip. I remember Mob Rules from the Heavy Metal movie. Yep, same thing you said, Trevor. Ron Haggerty, he just did a Scorpions collection. Yeah, I mean, the debut's always been my favorite, but that was also my first exposure to the Scorpions. I got that album when it came out.
Yeah.
Vance says,
Not only a different mix, it's a completely different recording, too. Because I think they did that song at Lennon's or Ringo's house, the Imagine House.
oh, okay. Ron, In Rock and Fireball are neck and neck, but In Rock takes it. My favorite is Machine Head, but Twanger already knew of Ozzy Sabbath and Rainbow with Dio, so it was pretty different in a good way, though. Symptom of the Universe was his first Sabbath song. Scott Sabotage is his number one. Here's Greg. How you doing, Greg?
Hey, Greg.
Got some good ideas for future. Greg doesn't have Black Sabbath's discography. Okay, thoroughly enjoyed these rankings, gents. Love the uniqueness of each of you. Good stuff, boys. Thank you, Mark. Richard, Mob Rules is one of the 3 Sabbath albums he has. Paranoid and what's the other one? Oh, Master Reality, I guess. Douglas did know the meaning of the song Superstar. It was a space toy. And music is subjective. Fly the Rainbow is my favorite. That's my second favorite Scorpions album.
It's a good album. I love Entrance.
That would be my third favorite. As you go along, the first 5 albums, that's how they rank for me, Scorpions, 1 through 5. All right, so the number 1 album that takes all this is Sabotage.
Nice.
Gets an 11. 1 from Chris, 5 from Trevor and myself. Very close. Master of Reality is a 12. 2 from Chris, 7 from Trevor, 3 from me. Dead last, though, no surprise, 13. It gets all the points it could earn. It got all 60. So, I mean, when I look at my picks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. 10 of my top 11 picks are their 10 first albums. Now, you guys, because you're younger than me, it's going to be a little different because of your introduction to them. It's around the time of Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules for you guys. Because Heaven and Hell comes out in 1980, so at that point, Trevor's 10.
I'm 6.
Yeah, 9, 10, yeah.
Chris is 6. So really, your entry point, Chris, should have been, like around 88, 89.
Yeah, so what's that?
Well, that would have been like either Eternal Idol or Headless Cross.
Well, that's probably why Eternal Idol is up there for me, too. I think.
Yeah, you've got Eternal Idol at 7.
Yeah, and because my ears were in tune to that sound of that 80s hair metal and whatever you want to call it. And so I think that Eternal Idol just fit right into that sound of that time period. And then, like I said, I loved Sabotage and I went back and discovered the other stuff, but I was more familiar with the Ozzy solo stuff around that time. Like I love Shot in the Dark. That's one of my favorite Ozzy songs. And of course, Crazy Train. And so then I went back and kind of discovered the Sabbath stuff from there.
Yeah, I mean that initial entry point always plays such a big part in it being your favorite album from a band. Because like I say, like Scorpions, it's my favorite album by them just because I got it when I was 16 when it came out.
Right. Well, it's even like Kiss. When I got into Kiss, it was like Asylum, Animalized, Crazy Nights. That's that sort of era. And I didn't even realize Gene Simmons sang songs because every time I saw a video, it was Paul Stanley in the 80s. And then I went back and discovered the 70s stuff. I'm like, oh, Gene actually sings some songs and Peter Criss does. And it was, discovering these bands in the 80s, their sound obviously was a little different. Aerosmith, same thing. I got into Aerosmith with Permanent Vacation, and then went back and discovered the other stuff.
So now that you have, 35 plus years under your belt of listening to Kiss, do you prefer the 70s or is it still the 80s what you came in with?
No, I prefer the 70s. My favorite Kiss album is Love Gun. And I've seen them quite a few times, but I also love The Elder. I know a lot of people don't like The Elder. I also love Unmasked.
The contrarian in you?
Yeah, Unmasked is great. I love the song Shandy, for whatever reason. I love that song.
Shandy is a really good pop song.
Yeah.
It has more hooks than a tackle box.
Yeah. Dynasty is awesome. I mean, I do love the earlier, the debut is a greatest hits, basically.
Yeah.
I love Dress to Kill. I love everything by Kiss, but yeah. So yeah, my favorite is Love Gun, though.
Let's catch up here. Ron, he loves Entrance. Yep. Vance digs the charts. Yep. Thank you, Vance. Ron Haggerty, I was very late with Sabbath. I discovered them around 88. Okay. Thanks for stopping by, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Ron Haggerty, his Kiss favorite is George G, and I are doing song rankings. Okay. Twanger, great to have generational ears on these iconic bands. Yep.
Yeah.
Hide Your Heart is the best Kiss song. Fight me.
What song?
Hey.
Hide Your Heart? Oh.
Hide Your Heart. What album is that from?
Hot in the Shade.
Hot in the Shade. Yeah, I'll be in Michigan in a couple days there, Scott. So, yeah, I'll fight you.
Yeah, but does he like...
That's a bad album, man.
Ace Frehley does a version of that on his solo album, Hide Your Heart.
Yeah. It came out like the same time.
Yeah.
Richard's entry point was Love Gun. Vance, talk to me.
Now, my daughter, who's 20 years old, she listens to all different types of music because of me. I'll take that credit. But she likes Sabbath, but what she goes to is those hits like Paranoid and the title Black Sabbath and Iron Man, and she loves all that stuff because it's the first time she's hearing it. So it shows you that those songs are really, really freaking good. It's just that we older guys, we've heard them thousands of times.
Yeah.
Right.
But they're timeless. Black Sabbath is a timeless band, I feel like. You can put them in with the Beatles and, the Stones and Sabbath and, Metallica is one of those bands that people discover. Kiss is one of those bands. They're just Deep Purple. They're just timeless sort of bands.
It's the longevity of those songs.
Yeah.
Whereas, you get a little bit before that with the 60s. I mean, obviously Beatles still get played to death and Stones and The Who to a lesser extent.
Yeah.
But, you go even earlier than that, that stuff starts falling away of getting played nowadays. But yeah, there's songs that we all listen to that are 45, 50, 55 years old still to this day, and they still sound great. And even younger people are, getting into it because, you brought up Metallica. I mean, for some people, that's like the heaviest that they get, in their tastes. But, and me being one of those people, this last tour, the families are going.
Yeah.
It's, which is something I never would have thought of when I saw them on the Puppets tour. Mom, dad, and the kids,
Right.
going.
It's on, Trevor. Scott's ready to duke it out with you.
All right. I have 2 days to train.
Next ranking has to be AC/DC.
I don't know many people who don't like Black Sabbath. You at least like a couple of their songs.
Even my wife has gone with me twice to see Black Sabbath. 99 on the reunion tour.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I told her I was going to go, and I was going to take my nephew, and a buddy of mine was going to go. And she says, "Oh, I'll go with."
Yeah.
So the four of us.
But myself being a big Kiss fan, I find a lot of people don't like Kiss.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But Sabbath, I cut you off, Steve. I'm sorry.
Oh, and then I was saying, then she went when they announced their farewell tour in 2016. She wanted to go to that too, so she went with. I don't know if I could do a proper AC/DC ranking because there's really only 6 or 7 albums I know really well. I have their entire discography. I guess I could force myself to sit down and listen to every album 5 times and decide what I like. But at some point, I'd be like, I just heard that song.
They're reissuing the Australian versions of the albums.
Oh, are they?
I saw that. In fact, I think they might have those at the pop-up stores that they're doing on their tour stop. So I might try to get in on that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a wide release too, which would be kind of cool.
I think they're here like in late September. They're playing Soldier Field.
Oh, cool.
What's your favorite Alice Cooper album, guys? Do you have one? Or
it's Killer for me.
Yeah, Killer for me as well.
And then Love It to Death. Those two, they're the only thing that keeps. I mean, Killer would probably still be number one no matter what. But to me, what drags down Love It to Death is Sunrise. It's just a throwaway song.
Right. Yeah, I think that was something that they did in their show, and then we need 3 extra minutes on here, so
yeah.
You know, I think it's funny. A lot of people don't realize that Donovan sang on $1 Billion Babies.
Oh yeah.
And I love Donovan. I always thought it was Alice Cooper, that whole song, and then as I got older and started to listen to Donovan, I'm like, okay, that's interesting because that's not Alice Cooper singing the background vocals there.
That was my first concert, the $1 Billion Babies tour.
Okay, cool.
This is fun. Says Saxon. I don't think I have one Saxon album.
I think I've got everything Saxon released on CD.
Yeah, and actually Gary gave that to me as a VCLT.
That was just one band I never got into.
I saw them open up for. Did I see them with Priest? I saw Deep Purple and Judas Priest together, which was crazy.
Right.
And Judas Priest opened for them.
I've seen Saxon twice. You probably saw him when I did Chris. I saw him open for Judas Priest.
Yeah, that must have been when
And then I saw him open up for Uriah Heep when I met Gary and Alex in Cincinnati. Richard, I'm surprised now that you mention it, that Jack isn't here because he had commented on the announcement. He said, this should be interesting. And the little fucker's not here. Where are you, Jack? Okay, Mark, thanks for dropping by.
Good to see you, Mark.
Okay, is this true, Chris? You know,
what's he saying? I can't read with my old
Your favorite AC/DC drummer is?
My favorite.
No, favorite AC/DC album.
Oh, my favorite.
Album.
Flick of the Switch. I love Flick of the Switch. I think is that Ron?
Yeah.
I think that's Ron's favorite too.
All right, I had the date wrong for whatever reason. I thought they were playing here in September. Who the hell's a big act is playing here in September at Soldier Field?
I think Ron likes Fly on the Wall though too.
That's an interesting one to have as a favorite.
That was my first Alice Cooper live experience, was the Raise Your Fist and Yell.
Okay,
tour.
Chris, everybody wants to know how many Black Sabbath t-shirts do you have?
I've only got 4. I've got this, the Paranoid shirt. I've got the Master of Reality shirt. I have the Volume 4 shirt, but it's funny. It's not it's a Dark Side Records Volume 4 shirt. They took the logo.
Okay.
And I have Sabbath Bloody Sabbath as well.
Yep, that was the same. Ron, you saw the same tour I saw. Yep. Chris is a Kiss fan. Do you have the movie with Gene Simmons, Runaway, where he plays a villain? I've seen that movie.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, no.
Oh, it's
it's a horrible movie.
I've seen Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another bad movie. Wow, could you guys do a Rush album ranking? I could do a Rush album ranking, but
I couldn't.
But they're a band that once I hit a certain point, I might as well just be drawing the albums out of a hat because I don't know them well enough. You know, I know the first 8.
What about Maiden?
Albums pretty well. Well, I just started listening to Maiden in 21, so
Right.
I don't think I know their stuff well enough to rank them yet.
What if we just rank the classic from the debut to No Prayer?
Actually, no. You get even better yet to coincide with the new tour debut to Fear of the Dark.
Oh, that's true, because Fear of the Dark was after No Prayer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good
Maybe
too.
pull up your video.
That was also my first AC/DC show. Was
Yeah, Pi, get yourself a Sabbath T-shirt. No solution. Runaway gets 5 stars for Tom Selleck's mustache. Okay.
yeah. I think it was gonna crawl off like the little robot spider things.
Ron could do a maiden ranking. I mean, bands that I could do a full ranking of where I would feel like, okay, I'm not cheating at all. I know these albums. It would be Black Sabbath, Blue Oyster Cult, Deep Purple, Alice Cooper, Uriah Heep, Jethro Tull. Yes. I mean, if you're talking bands with huge catalogs, I mean, there's other ones that are much easier that may only have, 7 or 8 albums. But
what about Pink Floyd?
Oh, I can do Pink Floyd, no problem. That's top 10 band for me, Pink Floyd. Yeah.
Chris, how many Kiss shirts? I have one. I don't know. I think I've got like 3 or 4. I had some tour T-shirts that I wore so many times that I had to get rid of, and like I saw them on the Psycho Circus tour, so I had one of those shirts. And
I don't think I bought anything. Oh, no, wait. I bought the program. That was when I was collecting programs.
I have the 3D glasses from the tour.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott,
I thought that was kind of stupid. I'm like, they're standing in front of us.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Scott, I'm guessing I'm the only one here with the Marillion album.
Yeah. I have none.
I have a couple Marillion albums,
Oh,
but
do you?
if you, I couldn't hum one of their songs if you had a gun to my head.
Yeah. Bob Dylan would be an impossible one to do. Yeah.
Johnny Cash is another one. He's got so many albums.
Yeah, I mean, to do somebody like Bob Dylan or Neil Young or Van Morrison, guys that have 40 plus albums, you really have to do that as a 2-part show for one thing.
I could do Metallica.
Yeah.
I don't own any Metallica. Trying to think of other bands that have a huge discography. Oh, Wishbone Ash. I mean, they've got 25 albums. I could do them.
Zappa.
Yeah, Zappa. No, Richard has 4 Marillion albums. So I don't know if Scott could do a Marillion ranking because he'd have too many tears in his eyes as he's giving poor rankings to albums that probably deserve it. Ron says Metallica, definitely.
We can do a Sex Pistols ranking. They've only got one freaking album.
Yeah, they're an easy one.
1 through 1.
I would give it a 0.
Are you into punk at all, Steve? Or
not at all? It's a one genre I just cannot get into. Well, not the one genre, but as far as that I would put in under the rock umbrella, it's the one I can't get into.
You know what you should listen to is the second. You've heard me talk about the band Black Flag, right?
Yeah.
You should listen to the second side of the album, My War.
They have all the cartoon like album covers, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're all drawn by this guy Raymond Pettibon, but the second side of My War is 3 doomy, dirgy, heavy songs that you might dig. They were definitely. I remember reading that Black Flag was listening to a lot of Dio era Sabbath around that time.
What's the name of the album? My War.
My War. My favorite Black Flag song.
Side 2.
Side 2 of My War. Yeah. It turned the punk community crazy because they're like, how dare you play long songs that sound like heavy metal?
Right.
I mean, I have the Sex Pistols album, but the only reason why I have it, I had a big score at a garage sale. I got 96 albums for like $130, and that was one of them. and that's the only reason why I have it. It's an album I never ever would have bought.
I grew up on a lot of that punk stuff, like Dead Kennedys, Circle Jerks, all that stuff.
Vance, I am not going because I don't know if you know this, Vance, but I hate the city of Chicago. And if Dweezil is in the city limits, I won't be going to it. If he's playing at Des Plaines Theater or Arcada or Rosemont Theater, I would go, but just for the experience. My War, okay, Richard, I know Richard's a punk fan. He says My War is freaking awesome.
So, Chris, have you seen the new version of Black Flag?
I saw them. Yeah, I did, and I went because I wanted to see Craig Ginn playing guitar.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to remember the guy who's singing with them.
Yeah, I can't.
But it's not really Black Flag, but again, I went to see Greg Ginn playing guitar because I feel like he was very innovative, at least in the punk sensibility of guitar playing. He was kind of, I mean, he says too, he was influenced by a lot of the jazz artists because he was just kind of all over the place playing, sort of dissonant, atonal, kind of crazy guitar riffs.
I don't know. I remember, what was it, a little bit over 10 years ago, there was Black Flag out there, and then there was Flag.
Yeah.
Which were former members, except for the guy from Descendants playing on
guitar. Bill Stevenson on drums, yeah.
Oh, that would have been cool, but probably the coolest thing I seen live was this about 2002, 2003, when Rollins was doing that. Well, they had that benefit album for the West Memphis 3, the Rise Above thing. Well, they actually did a small tour, not with all the singers, but it was basically two singers. It was Keith Morris did all his songs, and then Rollins came out and did the rest with a couple like Ramones covers on there. Saw it at Harpo's in Detroit, and oh my god, that was awesome. I mean, that was the closest to a Black Flag show I'll ever see. And, just to see Rollins do those songs for the last time was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw him on a spoken word tour a couple years ago. And then you'd mentioned Keith Morris. Keith Morris was singing for a band called Off for a while. And I saw them in a small bar, like a half an hour from here, where there was like maybe 30 of us in the bar. And I was like right there next to the bass player. And I was like, this is what it would have felt like to see like those bands back in the day.
Right.
So cool. Yeah.
All right, Douglas. I think, did you pick up the Pompeii, Trevor? I thought you were talking about it, weren't you?
No, it comes out this week.
Okay.
So, yeah, my buddy, who's speaking of Keith Morris, my buddy, he's the drummer for Negative Approach, and they were on tour with Circle Jerks for a couple of years, it seems like. But he owns a record store in the burbs of Detroit, and I'm going to stop by his store, and hopefully he has in that Pompeii Day of. Goddamn dogs.
All right. Vance says the Dweezil show is at Des Plaines. Okay. What's the date on that, Vance? Richard saw Rollins band a few times. Intense shows. Pie face. Tap out. Need to grab some sleep. Yeah, it's late by you, Pie. It's almost 2 a.m. Thanks for stopping by. So.
Yeah, I should probably be calling it a night here too. I got to get my beauty sleep.
What time is school?
I usually get up at 5:30. So
okay.
I got to be there by like 8:25. But I kind of I'm about a half an hour from work. I just like to get up and kind of ease into the day. I make my coffee. I don't like to rush out the door. I usually, I spend actually a couple albums in the morning. It's my time to kind of listen to music too.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. I'll be up when you get up. Yeah. I get up at 2 a.m. West Coast time, so.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
I will be up too because I'm normally up at 4 o'clock Central. So
yeah.
But because what grade do you teach?
I teach 5th grade.
5th grade, okay.
Yeah.
And that's just all subjects?
Yep, all subjects: social studies, science, math, reading, writing. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so you kind of have to be an expert at everything,
Right.
which we know is impossible. So
yeah. I mean, do you have a favorite subject?
Probably, I really like writing. I just feel, especially with 5th grade too, they can get a little bit more creative at that age group with their writing, and you're not so hung up on spelling and sentence structure and things like that. Like in the early grades, you're teaching that kind of stuff. By 5th grade, a lot of them know that already, so they're really kind of fine tuning their writing and fine tuning the creative aspect of it, which is cool.
Now, if you had your choice, is that the grade you would prefer to teach, or is there?
I think I've been teaching for 28 years, and I've taught a few different grades, and I really do like 5th grade because, like I said, they're independent, they're a little bit more creative. Also, I know I could never do junior high, like 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. Those kids would rip you apart if you're not you've got to be a certain type of person to teach those 6th, 7th, 8th. I mean, I know the way I was in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and I was a fairly good kid, but still I could be an asshole. So I think 5th grade is nice because it's right before that sort of change.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I dig this grade group, this age group.
Douglas saw a black flag with Saccharine Trust.
Oh, Saccharine Trust is cool. Yeah, they were on the SST label too. They were like a jazz, avant-garde, punk, spoken word type band.
Thanks, Richard. Thank you for stopping by the mighty Turkey Neck World Headquarters, LLC. My most intense wreck show ever was the Jesus Lizard or Nirvana.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know Jesus. I know the name. I don't know the music at all.
Yeah, the vocalist David Yao. He's a unique person. The only thing I have of him is on a Pigface record.
I have a Jesus Lizard album that Aaron Nita Alamere sent me, but I can't remember what it's called. So I'm not really a huge fan. I remember liking it, but
right.
Why
do you have a Eraserhead behind you, Trevor?
I don't. That's
that's Mighty Turkeys icon. Okay, I'm like, okay, how the hell did that pop up there? I didn't notice it earlier. Okay, very good.
I was gonna compliment. That's a movie I gotta maybe rent it. I remember seeing
you've never seen it?
No, I have seen it a long time ago. I mean, I was probably a teenager, so yeah, we're talking 40 years ago. And
you ever see it, Chris?
I've never seen it.
Eraserhead. I know a lot of people say it's genius. I don't know.
It's very, very, very weird.
Yeah, it's just yes, it's very weird.
It's David Lynch's first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to see it. I've never seen it.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by and commenting. And,
thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Chris, for coming on with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
I will end this, and then we can chat for a minute. Hold on.